Hello, it's Gary reaching out from Elevate Practice Intelligence, and I'm super excited today to announce the launch of an all-in-one startup package series for new practice owners, whether you're chiropractic, physiotherapy, osteo, naturopath, occupational therapist. These are the crucial building blocks that are essential for success and sustainability of a practice across 5, 10, 15 years. We at Elevate always believe to start with the end in mind. So when you start with the end in mind is, what does my practice have to look and feel like for a potential buyer to come in 5, 10, 15, 20 years, but have that foundation built early and have that foundation really at bedrock of your core practices. So we're excited to launch a launch practice series. We have launch financial, we have launch operational, we have launch people and culture / human resources, and then we've got two build it as you need it launch series. One is web / IT, and the other one is digital services, which is all SEO, SEM. We've got the financial package. Let's start there and just unpack what the financial package includes. At a high level, what it includes is, how do you create in an hour or so in your practice a functional strategic plan to understand the 4 or 5 core components of how you're going to compete differently than your competitors in the first year of operating your practice. With that comes a functional budget or annual plan, and as we all know, with annual plans, it's just a point in time, but what it does is it creates a roadmap for you month on month, so that you can see how you're progressing on your growth plan versus what we've allocated in the startup component. The third part to that is, how do I create a profit and loss statement on a monthly basis that I could have in place by the first week of the next month, so that you've got that lag measure, but it's a really timely lag measure to say, this is how I've performed versus plan within 7 days of that prior month finishing. Most practice owners that, I would say 95% of practice owners that I've worked with through 2023 have an annual P&L statement that comes from their accountant, and it comes April of the following year, and they're basically running their practice blind from a financial component. The last component is, how do we always look at what is your competitive advantage? So when you try to build your functional strategic plan, it's answering a bunch of questions to say, why am I in business? What's my competitive advantage? What am I doing different than my competitors that I can focus on and enhance and extrapolate into new business volume? So let's unpack the operational launch package and highlight the 5 components of this building module for your practice. The first one always is, how do we create lead and lag measures or a clinical scorecard that's going to allow you to track the 2, 3, 4 components that are going to allow you to win, monitor things that you can monitor daily or weekly, and then have a lag measure that is something that you can measure on a monthly or quarterly basis. So a good component in this is, how do I create a lag measure for revenue? What's the number, but what are the lead measures that you need to understand how do I create revenue? So it could be new patient referrals per day, it could be revenue per caseload, patient visit averages, all of those early lead measures to create a lag measure. So we create a functional operational scorecard for you to win on like I said, a daily, weekly, monthly basis. The second component to that is, how are we creating a 100-day plan for you? A 100-day plan just keeps you on track through quarter on quarter, through 4 times every year. And these are the things that are going to be 80% of the items on your 100-day plan are going to be the things that are needed to drive the business success that you have. There's always the risk of the whirlwind that consumes practice owners, that you never get to the components that are crucial or essential for driving the success of your business. We also unpack things that are high priorities on your practice management. These are your schedule efficiencies. These are anything that are time wasters. We're also looking for relationship builders, and then we're also looking for caseload management as well. How are you practice managing your clinicians when you are challenged with early exits or high drop-off rate? The strongest components of this startup package on the operational side is communications. How do I communicate with my team? How am I visible on a daily, weekly, monthly basis? What are the things that I need to manage on a communication plan to my team that might be 15 minutes on a weekly basis versus how do I huddle with my team on an hourly basis once a month to really give them the update on the things that are important to our team members. A lot of what goes into successful communication with your team is not financial driven. When we talk about impact on communications, it's always about the purpose, impact, the value that we create for the communities that we have a privilege to serve in. So it's always taking it from the human aspect of it, the value that we create for the patients that come to us, how we're different, how are we creating a culture of fun, of high performance. These are the things that are going into that operational plan. And the last component, again, equally as important, is understanding how we create a world-class client experience at the clinic. And it's unpacking, the top 6, 7 things that go into a world-class client experience, and we'll have that in a plan for you as well. So that is the top 5 things that are going into the operational plan. Again, the operational launch package includes the content that I've just provided you a high level on, but also the 2 times 1 hour consultation meetings, and then again the 6 months of the Pulse Pro subscription services. Again, it helps you implement and execute on a plan. A plan is no good if it's just looked at once a year. I'm just going to go sideways on this point for a minute, that one of the downfalls of practice owners is that they create a business plan to get loan or finance in place to open their practice, and then it just sits there and collects dust. The importance of a plan is that it's a living, breathing, dynamic document, whether it's a financial plan or an operational plan, that lives and breathes every day with you in your practice. And that is the importance of, when you implement something, that you've got the team of experts around you at Elevate that help you with that execution part. I think after 6 months it becomes a habit, and you may not need that subscription services once you're done the 6 months opening of your practice. The last launch series that I'd like to unpack with you is the people culture /HR. As we know, one of the major risks and compliance challenges that we have is managing people. And it's how do we hire? Do we have the right templates for an IC and an employee? How do we practice manage? How do we performance manage? How do we do written warnings? How do we do terminations? How do we keep ourselves out of court or a lawsuit that has human rights attached to it? The importance of understanding how do we manage our people from contractual basis is critical to the ongoing success of your startup practice. The way we win early in people is that we have a great onboarding, and we'll outline components that would allow you as a practice owner to be successful, whether you've got your administrative staff onboarding or you've got your clinical onboarding. And that is in reference to the policies and procedures that are critical in your practice to have as a bedrock or the foundation from which you are practice managing. There'll be a series of policies and procedures that you can implement into your practice. These are just generic ones on bullying, harassment, whistleblower, ethical conduct, termination, things like that. So there will be a complete package that you have. It's not for you to go and source or find on the internet. These are prepackaged 6 or 8 policies that are going to help you navigate 80% of the challenges that you've got, that you will experience at some point in your practice over the lifetime. Hopefully it doesn't happen in a serious nature, but you get the point of where the value is going to be created for you. So that's the conclusion of the big 3, the financial, the operational, and the human resources. Like I mentioned, please reach out to us. We do have startup packages that are more tailored to the individual needs of the geographies that you are or you have the privilege to serve in. So that is the SEO, SEM, this is the digital services, but also we've got the startup for IT, web services. This is Gary reaching out from Elevate Practice Intelligence, and like I said at the start, excited to bring the new launch series of a startup package for new to practice owners. Hope everybody stays warm and continues to have a great start to the 2024 year. Thank you.